Destiny, thank you for your response in the video discussion for Media Studies and Research and Design. Destiny brings up the personal example of Lowe's customer service experience, and she self-reported to have completed some surveys regarding perhaps a visit, an installation, something like that. And regardless, the important thing is the kinds of content they're interested in, right? If it works, was the visit efficient? It's something a lot of businesses will follow up and try to ask. Was it timely? Did it meet the window? Were the service people polite? Were they helpful? And so on. So brands, companies, organizations, they're interested in positive customer experience because they need to develop that brand loyalty with the consumer. There's just too much competition, or in some cases, the biggest companies are in the business of, in addition to profit, eliminating the competition, and so customer service helps them create sustained mechanisms of business. I just looking at the notes from listening there, it brings to mind something when you talk about Destiny is a person that's willing to take the time to give feedback, and not all of us do. And so sometimes what we see with surveys, and here's a learning lesson, it's a great opportunity to learn, is with surveys, some information is, the kinds of reports you tend to get are people that had such a positive experience, are so relieved that they feel compelled to share that information. And then you have the other end of the spectrum, of course, right? We have very bad experience. We're frustrated with what happened, right? This product didn't work right. It was too much, or they came 15 minutes late, and so on. They trampled all over my gazaleas, and that kind of feedback also is something the company must take into consideration. All right, and so what we see here, we're talking about the statistics that are gathered through surveys, is information that sort of exists on two ends of the spectrum, right? The hyper negative, the ultra positive. All right, and so these two tend to be at these ends. You tend to see the most information coming through those ends, and then often it's this middle ground where it is filled with people that just never have the time or energy or effort or know how to complete that survey. All right, and the problem then can be that these, depending on how many are submitted, they can skew the reality of the experience in certain ways, and that is something that's important for us to consider. That occurs. That's one reason when we have student evaluations toward the end of every course you take, it's important to fill that out. All right, it's important for our information findings. Of course, we hear from the people that have a very negative experience, and we do hear from people that have a very positive experience. We're interested in everyone's input because we can't address certain areas if we don't have enough feedback to do so. So great way to think about this. And yes, the second part of Destiny's response emphasized the ethics of surveys. There are a lot of unethical surveys out there. In fact, there are things disguised as surveys or things promising to give you a thing or put you in the pot for a thing, and really they want you to sign away your life. You give them an email address that they will then flood with spam until the end of digital time, and or sometimes it's now you start hearing from all of those Somalian cousins that want to reward you if you will just send them your social security number or something like that. We got to be on the lookout for that. Thank you, Destiny. Great conversation, you guys.